Today I'm going to show you how you can easily sharpen up your chainsaw using a hand file and save yourself a lot of money. So as you can see, the blade is pretty blunt, it's just not cutting. So I hit a nail the other day when I was chopping up some firewood and it's really blunted up my blades. I'm going to show you how we can easily sharpen up that chain so it can bring it up to a nice sharp point, and I'll show you the difference after we've finished chopping this wood. You can take it to a shop to get sharpened and they'll use a machine to sharpen your blade. It'll cost you from 4 to 8, 9 euros depending on where you live, but at the end of the day it shortens the life of your chain because it's a machine and it's cutting right into the metal, and it's costing you a fortune. If you're using your chainsaw regularly, that could end up being 50, 60 quid a year in sharpening, when you can do it yourself at home using a special round file for saws. If you haven't got one of these files, I'll put some links in the description so you can get one. They're quite cheap, from around 8, 10 euros I got this one for. And 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and you've sharpened up your blade and it's ready to cut again. So let's get started. Let's sharpen this blade up right now and then we'll show the difference from what you've just seen. So get your chainsaw in a nice safe position. You can take the brake off so we can easily cycle through the teeth, and we're going to start on one side first. So we'll come to this position and you just want to take your file, you just want to run it through like this. Turning your file like I'm doing. Just turning it like that. And then we'll move to the next one. We skip that one because that one's on the other side. And then we do that one. And there, we're back to the beginning again. I'm just going to give them a little once over again, because I did hit a nail and that nail did blunt them up a little bit more than what normal use would have done. But I can feel the edges back now. Feels good, it's grabbing my skin. So we're gonna do the other side now. So we're on the other side of the blade. Skipping that one because we've done it already. You'll see the difference in a minute when we cut a piece of wood compared to the beginning. So once you've finished filing all the little teeth on your saw, you're ready to get back to work chopping up that wood. That's why a little file like this is invaluable. They're dead cheap and it'll save you a lot of money not having to pay someone to sharpen up your chainsaw, but it'll save you money because you're keeping your saw on the edge, nice and sharp always, and that'll mean you'll burn less petrol while you're chopping your wood. Your chainsaw is not going to be having to work extra hard because it's dealing with a blunt blade. So highly recommend that if you've got a chainsaw, you learn how to sharpen up your blade yourself. Before I show you now the difference in how it was cutting before, you can see there it wasn't cutting, was it? It would have taken me all day to get through that piece of wood. I will show you the difference right now, but before I do, just a quick word from our sponsor. Our sponsor is Mars Hydro. They make all kinds of full spectrum grow lights that can be used right from seedling to the flowering stage. They've got a brilliant reputation and they've been building beautiful quality grow lights for very good prices. So if you're interested to get in a grow light, have a look in the description and the links are there to the store where you can purchase such a light. So let's show you how this saw is now cutting. I'm going to share a brief operational tip with you as well. what a good friend of mine once taught me. He was a tree surgeon when operating a chainsaw, so you can be always on the safe end of the, well, chainsaw. And it's when you're cutting, this is your brake here. When you're cutting, always hold your chainsaw like this, and that way if it jumps up, your wrist will knock that brake. Don't be chopping like this, you know what I mean? You want to make sure your wrist is out as much as possible. So when you're cutting like this, or if you've got your leg like that, I mean, don't take any unnecessary risks, but have your wrist butted up to the brake. That way if it does kick back, the natural motion will activate that brake and it'll stop that saw as instantly as it can, which is pretty quick. Well, let's have a quick little demonstration, because you've got to be careful when you're operating tools like this. Oh, got to switch it on first. Is it plugged in? So imagine it's going to kick back. It'll stop it straight away. See? Always hold it. I don't think you could hear a thing, but you see, always hold it, your chainsaw like this, and then you've got much better chance of stopping it if an accident should happen. But you should always be careful, make sure you're on level ground, don't go walking around with your chainsaw like an idiot with a beer in at the other hand. Treat it like a terrible weapon that can bite both ways. So let's now have a look at the difference in this chopping power. So as you can see there's a clear difference now. The blade is nicely sharpened. It's cutting through it like a hot knife through butter, and that's the beauty of having your own file. You can keep your saw nicely tuned up regularly after every session, or if you're sawing all day long, you can give it a tune up in between and keep it nice and sharp so you can get the job done a lot quicker. Guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, share it with your friends. If you want to help this channel grow and help the community to continue growing, then make sure to share this video with your social media platforms, whatever you use, and get the channel out there. That's all I ask, guys. Thank you very much. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.